Hey everyone, I'm back with another video, and this is Cam315, and it's been a while. Yeah, I said I was gonna do the Arrow Season 8, you know, preview and thoughts of what to come, but that's gonna have to be held off for another time, but I will get to that video. Um, but other than that, like you see in the video description or the title, I'm reviewing Hobbs and Shaw. Um, I actually never thought I'd probably see this movie. Really, maybe till like if I on my free time, like really to how would I say? I wouldn't be like seeing the movie probably till I get back if it was still in theaters by the time I got back to school, and it's a very, very, very how would I say it's honestly a pretty fun film. Now, I'm not too big into the Fast and Furious franchise and stuff like that. Only thing I know really is just a few of the characters, like the Rock's character, um, Vin Diesel's character, and stuff like that. That's what is anomalous with the one, and you know, they've been making the past few movies, and they've been doing well from what I've seen. But other than that, yeah. So I saw Hobbs and Shaw um, this morning, and you know, I know when it was first announced, people were like skeptical and like, it's a spin-off movie for the Fast and Furious. I don't. It will be probably won't do that well and stuff like that. But to be perfectly honest, um, I think this is the type of movie where it's really based on your opinion what you want to feel on it. If you feel like it's gonna be bad to you, then or if you feel like you're walking out of the theater thinking it's a bad movie, then that's power to you. That's your opinion. But if you but if you feel walking out of the movie, hey, that movie was actually it wasn't it wasn't good here and there, but it was still a fun, um, e- exhilarating movie, and that's what I kind of felt watching the film. It was a very fast paced when it comes to the action and stuff like that. Um, it's a fun, exhilarating movie to watch, and personally, I think it's a really great summer flick to check out. Um, I thought the movie was actually a pretty good movie. It was, I would say, better than what most people might have said before the movie came out. Um, but anyways, as you guys know, Hobbs and Shaw stars Jason Statham and The Rock and Idris Elba as the villain in the film and stuff like that. I think for this review, there'll be spoilers and stuff, like little minor spoilers from what I can remember, because it's been a long time since I've seen the film, so I can hardly remember um, basically anything, hardly some key moments from the film. Um, Plus, in a way, since I'm not really into the Fast and Furious stuff, I don't really know really whole story. So I don't really pay attention to the story and stuff like that. I just really wanted to see like the action, and the action scenes and like all the car chase scenes in this movie were really well done, and it was incredible to look at. Probably my favorite scene of the film was when they're in London and they're being chased by Idris Elba's character. I forgot his character's name, but they're basically being chased by him. And there was this one part in the chase scene where there's these true cargo trucks. So basically, Hobbs and Shaw's car get past it. Now they think it's basically barricaded off for Idris Elba to basically, not get there. But then Idris Elba's character like pulls off some insane type of freaking move, and I was like, "What the hell is going on here?" And look, this is the Fast and Furious. The one thing I do know about the Fast and Furious franchise as a whole is, as the series has progressed, movie throughout movie, logic has totally went out the wazoo. So if you come to this movie thinking of logic and real life ability, real life things and real reality of abilities to do things the characters do in this film, don't expect any like real world. There's real world elements, but like, you know, certain stuff like freaking The Rock pulling a chain to a helicopter and having and freaking, you know, having the strength to keep himself from like going up in the air, when in reality, if you had tried to hold a chain to a helicopter that's flying up, you're obviously going to go up with the helicopter. There's no way that can happen, even if you're grabbing onto a bar. Or anyways, your arm's going to get ripped off. But like I said, when you go into this movie, you can't really expect, like, oh, you know, that wouldn't happen in the real world. Like that Idris Elba scene with the motorcycle, even with the car thing. There's really not any given chance you that ever happens. And most 10 out of 10 times, if that happened in real life, people die. So you just have to throw the logic out of this and stuff like that. So that's one thing about the movie you have to throw out if you see it. But at the same time, even though it's dumb and it makes no sense, that's what makes the film pretty entertaining and pretty fun to sit through. There was not one time, well, I guess you could say in the middle of the film when it started slowing down and they got away from the action and they just basically progressed on the story, and that was morely like more comedic. It slowed the pacing down of the film a bit, but like I said, it still had comedic moments where it's like, okay, even though this is like, you know, a boring part of the film to sit through, they still got some jokes that, you know, hit or miss. And I think the jokes, depending on what what you feel like when it comes to, you know, jokes and laughing out loud to comedy, really the jokes are hit or miss with you. I personally, I laugh at anything, so I laugh at I almost laughed at all the jokes in it and stuff like that. So yeah, the comedy's hit or miss, depends on the person. Um, as far as the story was, in my opinion, kind of meh. You know, really the action outshined the story aspect of the whole, and the story was kind of like a just pretty bland plot. It's a story where it's complex, but it's bland at the same time, in my opinion. So basically, there's this virus called Snowflake, and at the beginning of the film, um, Shaw's sister, I forgot her name, but his sister basically injects herself with the virus, and basically the entire film is basically, I guess, in a way, centered around her, from getting into the wrong hands and having Idris Elba's character extract the virus to use it on basically the entire planet, which can kill everybody and stuff like that. And you know, they just got the. It's just a pretty bland plot, and it's kind of the whole thing throughout the film is, you know, they got to protect his sister and stuff like that, so she doesn't get caught and stuff like that. Other than that, yeah, the Idris Elba's character is the bad guy. I think he was a pretty decent bad guy. My tiers for bad guys are like terrible, bad, okay, decent, and good, and then great. And my movie tiers of antagonist, villains, Idris Elba's character was a decent villain. There was really nothing other than the fact that, quote unquote, like he says in the film, he's Black Superman. Other than that, really, there's nothing else. And spoilers again, He's basically a modified superhuman, basically, who died, but then because of the modifications done in, like, robotic stuff, he was able to be revived and come back to life, I guess, because, what is it? At first, when they explained earlier in the film, like, oh yeah, he took two bullets to the head from, like, Shaw or something, like, Shaw killed him. And basically, he just, came back to life because of, you know, basically robotic modifications. And basically, when I saw basically how his spine was being closed up and it was like all robot, I'm like, well, that means he's a freaking android then. Um, and again, it's like, how can two human characters beat an android? Especially an android that can tell them like the force of their hits and when they're attacking and when they're not gonna attack and stuff like that. It was freaking it's like you got to throw the logic out the way, but it was pretty cool to like see all the fight scenes and all the chase scenes and all the action scenes. I don't know if there was a specific favorite scene of mine where I like love that action scene to death. Personally, if you're asking me, um, I loved all the action scenes in the film. I thought they were all good. I thought they were all fun and eventful. Even the ones where you're like, oh my goodness, what is gonna happen? Which I think was the basically again spoilers. Hobbs and Shaw basically try to break in to the building ETA. I forgot what I think it wasn't called that, but basically Idris Elba's like base to retrieve his sister in a way. And basically they get caught, and it's a whole interrogation scene where they're basically getting shocked, and it's like it looks like it literally like looked like they were out of the done and stuff like that, and yeah, I will have to say about that one scene. It's a common trope for the villains in anything animated um, movies. There was like the one scene where the dude, where literally Hobbs and Shaw look like they can only take like one more shock, and they're just messing around talking to each other because they have the plan is developing to get them out of the situation. And Idris Elba's character and all the other characters are like just standing around looking at each other like, what the hell are they talking about? And it's like, if you're really, really that evil and you're a bad guy, wouldn't you kill them? Why would you even just let them keep talking? You just hit the switch and then just off them, really. But that's a common trope for villains in any forms of media. They underestimate or they, just don't get the job done. Um, but it was a pretty good film. It was a good film. I wouldn't say pretty good. I would actually say it's a good film. Other things, there was really eccentric in this film about family and stuff like that. So, they had the dynamic of Shaw's family, and then even had the dynamic of Hobbs' family and stuff like that. How you can how misunderstanding few things can actually be wrong because you're trying to protect them, which is in Shaw's case, and reuniting with your family after past things. If you try to walk away from that, it's always good to go back to go back to family, even if there's troubling times. It even looks like you're not really gonna communicate with your family ever again. But another thing that I also had this film was basically a romance plot between Shaw's sister and The Rock, and it out of any romance angle, it was kind of forced, and it was like, man, that was so forced and stuff like that. It wasn't forced to the point where it was bad. It was just forced to the point where it's like, I don't know if they really had to force in basically a relationship angle with The Rock and Shaw's sister. I thought it was like really out of place, and even obviously when they kissed, it was so like okay. Yeah, where it's like, you could see it a mile coming away when they just, you know, hint at the fact that they have, you know, certain like things that they're like, starting to like. And it's like throughout the movie, she hates him, but then by the time later films happen, they start to like, she starts to start liking him. Like it's your common trope of, girl does not like guy by the start of the film, but girl gets the kiss and eventually one falls in love with the character, the one of the main characters, and then they're on, and it's I don't want to say it's kind of really a forced relationship. We didn't really need the relationship in there, but okay. I would say that's kind of a negative that hurts the film, but it's like a little nitpick. I really thinking about it, there's really not one bad aspect except the middle part of the film that I had a problem with. There were cameos by some actors. One like Ryan Reynolds was in the film, and Kevin Hart was in the film, and I was actually like Shaw. Well. Now when I walked into the theater after I had to get a refill of popcorn for my family, um, I walked in back to the theater and I just saw Ryan Reynolds. I'm like, oh, he's in this movie. Oh, okay. Bless me. Um, and then there was this one scene in the middle part of the film where they had Kevin Hart in it, and then Kevin Hart I personally did not see coming out of nowhere in this film. I was like, Kevin Hart. I was like, oh my goodness, what is? I'm like, so yeah, um, it's pretty crazy. Yeah. Um, the chemistry between Jason Statham and The Rock, it's honestly money because their chemistry is on point. Whether they're making complaints at each other, whenever they had like at the end of the film they work together. Um, you know, it's just a really good back and forth little, you know, friendship slash hatred rivalry. The chemistry is really good on screen together, and it's like it really wants you to see more from these two. And I'm not really gonna give away the end credit scene if you're really into the Fast and Furious universe. I said I would do spoilers, but I would only be doing minor spoilers. And basically, this movie looks like it could be set up for maybe something in the main Fast and Furious movies, or if they want to do another Hobbs and Shaw sequel movie to this. And um, yeah, that's basically it. What I have to say of Hobbs and Shaw, I thought it was a very good, or not. I thought it was a good film to check out for the summertime. The action out there. It's not, even though it's not believable, it's still cool to see. And after even seeing this, now I see like, oh man, there's no doubt they're gonna somehow get this franchise up into space somehow. Fast and Furious is gonna go to space eventually. So who knows? Other than that, the only next Fast and Furious movie is the next one coming out, really, and I think next year or a couple of years from now. I don't know. Another thing I do know is John Cena is apparently going to be, or he is going to be in the newest Fast and Furious movie. So it's pretty crazy to see that two WWE superstars, and The Rock and John Cena, are going to be in the same film, and it's crazy. And it's funny too because I see The Rock and John Cena's dynamics literally one for one the same. They both wrestled for a long time in their company, and now look at them. They're big. Well, The Rock's obviously a bigger movie star than John Cena at this current point, but as John Cena starts to build himself to be a bigger movie star, he'll get more out there. And heck, when I went to the theaters for Hobbs and Shaw, I saw like this little thing. I forgot what the movie title was called, but it had John Cena in it. And I'm like, I didn't even know he was in this film. That film over there, that banner I saw. So yeah, it's a really good film. It's a good film, really good summer film. I'll say that. It's something if you have no interest in any of the other movies to go to the theaters and watch, I say Hobbs and Shaw. I'd give it something. Um, as for my rating to close up this review, I would give this an 8 out of 10. It's, it's a good film that has those intense action moments, and you can fall in love with, and you like. I'm not really into the Fast and Furious universe. If you ask me if I would pick this up on Blu-ray or DVD, depends. I like it as for an action, but really I don't think I would, from the aspect as if I was a Fast and Furious like fan. But yeah, it's a good film. I say go check it out. It's a film of your own opinion to see. If you don't want to check it out, that's fine. But if you do, power to you. So, anyways, this has been my review on Hobbs and Shaw. I'm probably gonna get right back on after this video, make another review, little discussion about One Piece, of an anime that I recently got into. So, yeah. So, other than that, this has been Cam for 15. And if you liked the video, leave a like. If you saw this movie and you had any thoughts on the film, leave it in the comment section. Also, hit that subscribe button if you feel like having more content, more reviews of certain TV shows that I watch. Anime, I guess, in a case, like I said, One Piece. And then other movie reviews and stuff like that. And I do cover a little bit of sports stuff and stuff like that. But other than that, this is Cam for 15, and I'm signing out. Have a good night.